Hey everyone, Mike on Monday coming to you. Yep, another weekend of rain. I get it. It sucks. But look around, see what else is happening. This morning, corn markets rallying again, so that they're responding to what's going on in the planting progress. I made a number of calls to colleagues around the country visions to get some feedback on what they thought was where they were at on planting corn. So talked to Jesse. He figures Coleman is at about 30%, so that's pretty far north of where I'm at. Come down to his Wrightstown location, he figured less than 10%. Ben at Chilton has them calculated about 5% of the corn in the ground. Kurt at Rockwood calculated about 30%. As I moved over to Rick at Velders, he thought maybe 20 to 30% was in the ground. Chris down at Plymouth was at about 5%. And as we move west out to Malone, Eric thought they were about 50% corn was planted. Jerry at Fond du Lac estimated about 25% in their area. And then Rick in Ripon was at 60 to 70% of the corn was planted at this point. So the whole discussion here is the market is doing well, but I don't have any corn in the ground. What do I do about it? Do I stay with the maturity do I plant something shorter? So a quick look onto some stuff that we've been watching. Bob Nielsen, one of the links that I've got on today's presentation, he's with Extension down at Purdue University. Interesting point as we get into this delayed planting situation, and I'm just going to point out one of his specific parts here that he found it was interesting. It appears that hybrids mature in fewer growing degree days than predicted when planted late. So based on some research conducted some years ago, hybrids planted later than May 1st mature approximately 6.8 fewer growing degree days for every day of delay beyond May 1 through at least the second week of June. And that's where they cut off the research for date. So for an example, a hybrid rated at 2100 growing degree days from planting to physiological maturity, we call it black layer also, and then planted on May 31 reaches physiological maturity in less than 2,500 growing degree days after planting. So a difference of 200 growing degree days. So what I did is I went to that second link to help put some of this information together. This is developed by the USDA, and it covers many different years. I've set this one up for Sheboygan County. When you go in, you can set it up for your county. I put in a planting date of May 31st, a freeze temperature of 28 degrees. And as Bob Nielsen pointed out in his article, that a few hours of 28 degrees is what it takes to shut that plant down. A frost will take the leaves off, but to shut down that plant from moving sugars around, 28 degrees. I started with a 95-day product and used Bob's calculation of 200 heat units or growing degrees day less. So I modified that down to this 2170. What's interesting is that I've got a silking date of August 3rd. Now I did that also for a 90-day hybrid, and look what I found. I have a silking date of August 3rd as well. So we didn't change a whole lot in silking date with changing our maturity. Out here, on average, our physiological maturity is going to happen somewhere around October 8th in this 90-day product versus 95-day, somewhere around that October 21st or so. Again, when you change, the beauty of this piece here, it's a tool that you can manipulate things to meet your situation best. So what is the planting date? What county are you in? It helps you look at some of the risk scenarios. So in Sheboygan County, is it October 8th that we have our average first freeze? For some of us that are been around, you can go out to 1993. That first freeze didn't occur till November 15th. And I recall that being a year that was extremely wet, late planting, and yes, the Mississippi was out of its riverbanks that year as well. So I see some correlation there. But anyhow, it's a tool. Play with it, download it, and work with it. Now remember that if you just use the growing degree information that automatically pops up, that may not be totally accurate with the hybrids you're looking at, because not all hybrids of the same maturity are going to have the same growing degree days to get you to silk or to black layer. So if you have the specific numbers for the products you're looking at, I would say pop them in, modify that to fit your hybrid that you're looking at. Again, we at Country Visions are looking at the newest technologies and trying to understand these things to match up with our weather event and the challenge of the spring. It's a tool. Use it. Give our agronomists at Country Visions a call if you got questions what it works best for you. The other thing that we wanted to point out is that we've seen a trend that as we've tried to shorten maturity in our localized areas, we tend to give up some of the yield in the process. Those hybrids that we found to work very well in our area, there's reasons for that, and giving those up and moving into other hybrids of lesser known information on your farm, there's some risk with that. If you are looking at making a change, on hybrids, double check, is it a product that's going to work in the soil type that you have, under the fertility that you have, the disease package, is it going to fit with what disease challenges that you face on your farm? And the other thing is double check populations, what that new hybrid, if you're making a change, where you should be planting at it. So all those parts of the puzzle help you define what's the best strategy and how to mitigate the risk that is involved in growing this crop. With that, we're continuing praying for drier conditions, warmer conditions, that we can get underway and get more of this crop in the ground. Have a great week. Got any questions? Give us a call. See ya.